Good morning, and again, super sorry that it's taken a little bit longer this morning. Biggest reason is I had a meeting at 8, and then of course I had to get some advert work sorted for a client, and on top of that trying to do a video for my husband so that he could send how to do artificial turf to his brother in England. And to be fair, I had some breakfast in between all of that. Look, to be honest with you, two things today. One, I want to talk about being grumpy. I've been grumpy today. I know I'm laughing, but if you knew me, like, this is my grumpy. I'm not happy right now. My eyes get really big. I get a little like this, and I kind of have I'm the Joker look on my face. Yeah, that's right. Like I'm going to kill you in your sleep kind of look. Yeah. Anyway, so I thought I'd talk about being grumpy. And this is not actually the most important part of today, but it is the funniest piece. And I don't know about you, but all of us will do grumpy in our own way. I do grumpy as passive resistance, or passive aggressive, sorry, not passive resistance. So I do the, hey, could you do this? Yeah, sure. Oh, would you mind looking at this? Not a problem. Anyway, unhealthy behaviour, not conducive to creating supportive, communicative environments when you're in lockdown. And so I do have a couple of tips on being grumpy. Number one is change your mental state. Now, the interesting thing is everyone's talking about mental wellness, and yeah, yay, good on you. Thank you for all your cool tips for you gurus out there. And I say this because guess what? We all get shitty. We all get pissed off. We all get a little bit like not awesome, okay? So my tip to you is if you're feeling grumpy, number one, figure out what you're grumpy about. Okay, what are you actually grumpy about? Then put it through the rational lens. Is what you're grumpy about really about somebody else or about you? Okay, so is it something you can control or is it something you can't control? So put it through the lens of rational thought. And then thirdly, do something about it, because if you don't do anything about it, then you have to get over your grumpiness. Otherwise, you're just going to be shitty and irritable for the rest of the day and ruin no one else's day but your own. So I'm saying that to everybody out there who's listening to this, as well as myself. Okay, so that's the emotional stuff done and dusted. I talked about yesterday how I wanted to be helpful in the space of those that were in bucket 3. So I'm going to give you another little tip. We've all heard of the SWOT analysis, correct? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What I want to share with you is a way to look at the SWOT analysis through the eyes of Stephen Cummings, who is an academic who wrote the book, The Strategy Builder. He's a Victoria University lecturer. He's amazing, just generally speaking. He said, and during my studies while I was doing my master's, one of the things that really resonated for me is he goes, one of the most common practices in the commercial world is a SWOT analysis. And he said what most businesses come up with is lists of things that are completely unrelated and, in essence, operationally useless. He said what would be more beneficial to organisations is instead of coming up with all of their strengths, all of their weaknesses, all of their opportunities and all of their threats, and just have a whole bunch of stuff that you could do something about, but you're only going to do something about one or two things. He said look at opportunities and threats first. Choose one or two opportunities, choose one threat, and then build out your strengths, your strength capabilities, your mitigations around what weaknesses you need to, off the back of the one or two opportunities or threats. Let me say this again. Rather than lists, strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats, grab opportunities and threats, and then build your core competencies off the back of that. So for those people out there who are looking to try and figure out where they need to get to in the workspace, then that would be an ideal way for you to be able to really think to yourself, here's my opportunity. What are my strengths in that space? What are my weaknesses? It's a far more useful way to use a SWOT analysis. So 2 key takeouts today, guys. If you're grumpy, figure out why fast, and mitigate that risk to your mental health. And with a SWOT analysis, think about, rather than unrelated lists, think opportunities and threats first, build your strength capability off the back of that, along with the areas of mitigation around your weaknesses. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for being awesome.